Venom, Let There Be Carnage is kind of a mess. This video is going to be separated into 3 parts. The first part is going to be a non-spoiler review, the second part is going to contain full spoilers, and the last part is going to contain major spoilers. So, let's get into Venom, Will There Be Carnage? Will there be carnage? For a movie called Let There Be Carnage, there sure isn't a lot of carnage. First Venom movie was a critical disaster. I think like 28% or something on Rotten Tomatoes. Fans loved it though for some reason. And honestly, I was one of those people who saw the movie. I thought it was okay. I enjoyed my time watching it. I could see its obvious objective flaws, and I thought it was an okay movie that I still had a fun time watching. The best part of the first Venom movie was easily Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock. Perfect casting, and he just played the character so well. Tom Hardy's a phenomenal actor, so it's no surprise that he brought such great energy to the character. A lot of people also love the dynamic between Venom and Eddie Brock, the hilarious moments between them, and I thought they were great. What I do think the first movie had though was it just felt so generic, it felt so bland, it felt like nothing new was going on, but it was the first time Venom was getting his own movie, so a lot of people were excited about it, and it had the right amount of humor, had a lot of action, had like the sort of like, it had the moments of Tom Hardy going absolutely crazy, trying to figure out the inner battle between him, and I think that's what made the first movie so entertaining, was the origin story of how he becomes Venom. This movie though, we don't need any more introduction to, who Eddie Brock is, who Venom is. We know the relationship, and it's crazier than ever. There is just so many jokes going around in this movie. It is so silly. The tone is completely absurd, but it kind of works in a way that I'll talk about later. Without going into any spoilers for this section, this movie is essentially just like pointless. It serves no purpose. It doesn't further the character of Venom or Eddie in any describable way. It has 2 very generic throwaway villains, and it's like This movie is like cinematic junk food. It's like garbage entertainment. Some people might not even find this movie entertaining. Some people might find it so over the top and silly and stupid and dumb and boring and pointless. And it just, like, I can understand if someone had those complaints. In my personal opinion, I was never bored once during the movie, but I never felt sucked into the movie. Like, I never felt like I was, okay, I'm enthralled in this epic story. The runtime for this movie is about 90 minutes, an hour and a half. This movie absolutely flies by. It feels like so much stuff happens in such a short amount of time that there's really no time to develop any sort of sense of character or any sort of meaningful plot that makes an impact on me who's watching the movie. And it's a double-edged sword, because I think had the movie been the same quality, the same writing, the same acting, and still been 2 hours, I think it would have been worse. However, I think it's still not the perfect length for the movie, because it feels like so much was rushed over or so much felt crammed in that at the end of the day, I'm not complaining, because if it was just another extra 30 minutes of what we got in this, it wouldn't have changed the movie for the better. The movie's also rated PG-13, which a lot of people had an issue with, and I'm normally the one that advocates against saying that, just because a movie's not rated R doesn't mean it's not good, but come on guys, the potential for this movie to be so much better is there, especially when a character like Venom and Carnage are going at it. Carnage is a literal killing machine that could have wreaked so much havoc within this movie in terms of kill counts and gore and all that stuff, but it's held back by, instead of, individual kills, it's like, blowing up cars and helicopters and all this stuff, and it just makes for sort of like a CGI mess at points. This movie would have been 10 times better if it was rated R. Content-wise, I don't think, like, the story and stuff wouldn't have been better, but what they would have been able to do with some of the action scenes or some of the jokes, like, I feel like some of the jokes felt really PG-13. Like, some of the joke, like, the relationship between Venom and Eddie it feels so, like, silly and childish. They could have made a lot more, like, I don't know, hard-hitting, deeper, darker jokes, I feel like, if it was rated R, but they just couldn't do it given the rating. I do think, however, that their one use of the F word in this movie, which they are allowed since it's PG-13, was perfect, and it was definitely a hilarious moment. Tom Hardy once again kills it as the role of Eddie Brock, and Woody Harrelson as Cassidy is okay. He's okay. He could have been, he plays the role well. Not gonna say he could have been played by anybody, but he feels so, like, stupid. It's at points like the character is just so like what? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like the whole motivations behind everything that the whole creation of Carnage in the first place is so stupid. It is so stupid. The way Carnage is actually created, like, I don't know if that's how it happens in the comics or if some bigger event happens, but the way Carnage is actually created in this movie, it feels so contrived and so dumb. Also, the relationship between Venom and Eddie in this movie, it's like I'm watching a Marvel rom-com, and it's very weird. Like, it's very like, you need me, you're nothing without me, and it's just like why? Overall, without going into many more spoilers, I think if you are a fan of the first movie, you're either going to like this movie or you're going to love this movie. I don't think if you are a hardcore fan of the first movie, you're not going to like this one. It's basically more of the same, just amped up a little bit and more crazy, more silly, more stupid, and doesn't take itself as seriously as the first movie, but it also doesn't really develop or forward the story in any meaningful way, in my opinion. But if you're just looking for some entertainment, like, it's there. You're going to have fun. Alright, let's get into spoiler territory. The villain motivations are so stupid. His reasoning for being a serial killer is that he was abused as a child. Give me something more. Give me something more meaningful to latch onto. Like, am I supposed to just empathize with you just because you were abused as a kid? And it's not like you were abused as a kid and then went on to do something bad. You were abused as a kid and went on to murder your members of your family and were put in a mental hospital, and then you got out and started killing more people. It was just stupid. And the whole character of Frances Benison, the woman who can scream and like make sound waves happen, so dumb. Like, so dumb. We're given no meaningful way to like connect with this villain in any way. Like, we're just supposed to feel bad for her because the whole wedding scene was so dumb. Where did they get that pastor guy from? Why do I even care about their relationship together? Why is any of this happening? I was literally asking myself that a lot in this movie. Why is any of this happening? What is this, like, what is the point of any of this? And the fact that the runtime was so short feels like they were just trying to shoehorn in like a story. Like, they just want to just get it over with and finish the movie and get it out to audiences for whatever reason they felt like they needed to, with no substance at all. This movie has absolutely no substance to it. There's no overarching theme or narrative, or like even the big climactic fight between Carnage and Venom. You already know Venom is not going to lose. Like, the way the whole thing is set up, there's no twists, there's no turns, it's so formulaic and just like, honestly, you know, when I was sitting there watching the movie, I was thinking, okay, this is pretty good, but now that I'm sitting here actually thinking about it, this movie is a lot worse than when I actually start thinking about it and talking about it, and how pointless and useless it is. Couldn't they have just focused on Carnage? Was the street girl, did she need to be in this movie? They could have had a very interesting, like, psychopathic look, you know, in-depth, you know, psychiatrist look into the mind of Woody Harrelson's character, and sort of made some, like, I don't know, interest, like some mystery, intrigue sort of plot going on. But no, he's just in prison. The whole plot of him getting put on death row could have been, you know, stretched out a little bit more to make it more dramatic when, you know, he finds out that it was actually, you know, Eddie Brock that sent him back on death row, and now he's coming for vengeance, like, for real. That whole scene of him getting put back on death row happens in like 5 minutes. It's all summarized in a quick bow, 5 minutes, it's over. Yeah, he's back. Oh, that's the thing about the short runtime. Like, everything just feels rushed. It's like the movie starts, he's talking to him, then he comes back, finds out Venom finds out some information, then he goes and tells the news reporter guy. Then he's like, oh, you put me back in death row, I'm gonna kill you. Bites him. The whole biting scene, that was stupid as hell, bro. Come on. You telling me that's how he becomes Carnage? That's all. This entire movie would never have happened if he didn't bite his hand. There is some fun to be had in this movie, I agree. The banter between Eddie and Venom at sometimes comes across a little corny, a little cringy, a little lame, but there's like some genuinely funny parts. If you like the relationship, you like it, and it works sometimes. I will say another thing that I really like is the design. Like, I think the animation on Venom, but more specifically Carnage, I feel like Carnage looked really good in this movie compared to Venom. I think the red and like the really spiky like look of him really contrast the more slimy, mundane black look of Venom. And I think Carnage looked really good in this movie. The animation was fantastic. All the scenes with him looked good. However, when they're fighting each other, when you're watching two CGI blobs of mangled mess fight each other in a dimly lit clock tower with scaffolding and all this crap, it just gets it's a muddled mess to look at on the screen sometimes. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at sometimes. The parts where it's showing like Woody Harrelson coming out of Carnage, like, don't hurt my wife, don't hurt her. Like, it looks so bad. It looks so bad. Just like in the first movie when Riz Ahmed and Tom Hardy were fighting and like they like came out of each other for a few seconds and you saw like the big mangled web of symbiote like skin. It looked so bad. Some of the scenes just look very faded. Like the action scenes when stuff's happening, it's like almost blurry when stuff's moving around because of how much CGI there is. Like, I can't focus sometimes on what's happening because there's just mangled messes of red and black symbiote just crossing in front of the screen, mixed with explosions and things flying around everywhere. Also, this is the third movie in the Spider-Man universe in which there's a fight scene in like a clock tower scaffolding construction thing. The first one, Spider-Man 3, the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3, the ending, which also had Venom, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2, which when I'm watching this movie, there was a little scene with Michelle Williams' character hanging down like the Emma Stone shot from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but I was like, am I watching Amazing Spider-Man 2 right now? There's literally a clock tower, and then she's like falling through the scaffolding, and Venom's like putting his like, I don't know, goo arm out, and she's like hanging on from it. Looked like straight out of Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't know, maybe that was a weird comparison that I saw, but I'm like, that literally looks like a shot from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, they're even in a clock tower too. Like, what? I don't know what it is, man. I just thought this movie, like, I was entertained a lot of the time watching this movie. It was entertaining. Will I ever want to watch this movie again? No. No. I might Google YouTube every once in a while, Venom versus Carnage fight scene, and watch that every once in a while. Other than that, there's no discernible other action scene that like stands out to me. Just a couple of scenes of Carnage just blasting through prison guards to get out his wife to have a red wedding. We got Venom at a nightclub with glow sticks around him, giving speeches to a bunch of weirdos talking about, I'm finally free? What the hell? Why? Why are you doing this movie? I don't know. This I'm not gonna say this movie had potential, because look at its predecessor. That movie is not a good movie. It's the same as this, but this just takes it to a whole new level of stupidity and garbage and what the hell is even going on. Tom Hardy's still great though. I love Tom Hardy, and it's like, you know, they brought in this guy, Woody Harrelson, widely known great actor, to play this character, and in less than a 90-minute movie, he's dead. He's gone. Bye Carnage. Guess we'll never see him again. Like, I don't understand. And I guess his wife put like her powers into the cop guy, because it looked like she got crushed by the bell at the end fight scene there, and then we don't see her again. But then at the end of the movie, it shows that guy with the thing in his eye saying ghost. So I think the cop is now possessed with her powers. For what reason, I don't know. When she did that, I don't know. How he's still hanging there on the chain, I don't know. I also don't even care about Eddie Brock's relationship with Anne. I genuinely don't care. Like, this guy is such a loser. He's such a weirdo, and he's like obsessing over this woman who doesn't like him. And the relationship stuff is like, so why is it in this movie? Why is there a scene of Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams going to dinner for her to tell him that she's engaged? It doesn't come back around in any way for any meaningful payoff or anything. That whole relationship plot could have been cut out completely. Would not have changed the movie. It just makes for this weird thing where like, oh, Venom's trying to cheer him up, and then the next scene they're like hating each other and Venom's gone. He's out. He's like, peace, I'm gone. Guys, I really didn't think I would hate this movie this much. I don't hate this movie. I don't hate it. But it's garbage. This movie's trash. I might even go as far as to say it is a bad movie. It doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like a series of events and things happening that follow a certain structure and plot line, but it serves no purpose. It serves no point. There's no reason. Why is any of this happening? You introduce a villain. You tease a villain in the last movie, like some big thing's gonna happen, and then in a 90-minute movie, in less than 90 minutes of screen time, he's dead. He's gone. Bye. Well, I know I've been saying a lot. This movie serves no purpose, has no meaning, has no substance to it. Well, that all changes, ladies and gentlemen, in the mid-credit scene. Let me tell you, part of me is ecstatic, so happy that this post-credit scene exists, and the other half of me is like, this movie was literally made for this post-credit scene. It's like they're like, we need to make the post-credit scene, but we need to make what happens in the post-credit scene happen, but we need to, like, you know, connect it somehow in some way with a scene, but we can't just have a scene. We need to have a whole movie that does it and then put it in the mid-credit. It's just like, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna not complain about it. I'm gonna just praise the mid-credit scene, because the mid-credit scene gives us what we've all been fucking waiting for so long. Man, I have not had a feeling like that of like excitement and adrenaline in so long. That mid-credit scene was amazing. Venom, he's talking to Eddie. He's like, symbiotes have been around for millions of years. We've experienced all these things, and for a second I thought it was gonna, because then he's like, Eddie, I can show you what we've all seen, what we've all been through. And for a second I was like, is he gonna show him like the Spider-Man 3 the Spider-Man 3 Venom from Raimi's movie? Because when he said that, what he said was basically like, we've been through so much, something about like multiple universes, all this stuff we've seen, we're all connected. So I was thinking maybe this Venom is connected to the Venom from Spider-Man 3, and he was going to show like a scene of like Topher Grace and James Franco and everybody, because they were watching a TV. I thought it was going to maybe like project on the TV, and then he's like, okay, I'll show you. I'm like, okay, this is big. You know, I've been seeing a lot of people online talking about this post-credit scene is big. Don't get it spoiled for you. Go see it. And I'm like, okay, something big's about to happen. And then it just completely shifts till the world starts glitching. Everything is glitching out, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? Oh my god, guys. You see in the corner of your eye something on the TV change. The whole scenery changes. He goes from like this dark room, and he's back in the beach, and you see on the screen, you're like, oh my god. Oh my freaking god, that is J.K. Simmons. That is J.K. Simmons on the screen. That is J. Jonah Jameson. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's in the corner. It's in the little tiny corner. He's like, yo, what the hell's going on? Looks at the TV. Breaking news. Peter Parker. I'm just like, yes. Like, I knew going in the post-credits was going to be crazy. I was thinking, hey, what if it was that? That'd be crazy too, right? But I didn't think it was actually going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. And it happened. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Oh my god. You know, with the delays that this movie faced, this movie was supposed to come out in October of 2020. A year ago. But I honestly think that the delays may have worked to create some amount of hype that is much, much closer to Far From Home. And I think it works in the sense that had this come out a year ago and that same scene been in there, maybe the version that would have came out a year ago didn't even have that scene. And maybe something within the past year changed. But that scene was incredible. It was incredible, and it makes me... Spider-Man Far From Home might be my most hyped movie of the entire MCU. Like, I'm talking... I have endgame levels of hype for Far From Home at this point. I am so excited to see this movie. Yup, so excited you forgot the name of it, you idiot. This has the potential... Spider-Man Far From Home has the potential to be the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. I'm going to say it right now. It has the potential. It really does. It will, if it can be the culmination of everything that we love about all Spider-Man movies up to this date in one nice, tightly wrapped package with a bow on top. And Tom Hardy's Venom is the cherry on top of that bow. Guys, at the end of the day, if you like the first one, go see this movie. If you didn't like the first one, don't even bother. If you want to see the mid-credit scene and don't care about the rest of the movie, just watch it online. It's there. It's people spoiled it already. which is why I'm glad I saw this early, so that didn't happen. Yeah, I'm gonna give Venom 2, Electric Boogaloo, 2 stars out of 5. Sorry. Also, Eminem, Polo G on a track together? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Straight fire. Skylar Grey on the hook? Bro, stop playing. Stop playing.